I interviewed the man himself, Pasquale Rotella, the founder of Insomniac events at EDC Las Vegas this year. What is happening? What is real life? Guys, we got to talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to Rave Culture Cast, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more. I am your host, Emma Capotis. Thank you for joining me today, you guys. Who is ready for an EDC Las Vegas 2024 review? Because I have so much to tell you guys about, so much behind the scenes content that didn't make it into the vlogs, that I haven't talked about on social media yet. This is the real review and recap. We're going to get into all the nitty gritty details, all the changes that were new this year, brand new stages, new layout at the festival, Hotel EDC for the first time, which if you guys are not watching video, I am rocking the Hotel EDC robe because it is so freaking comfortable and warm. Shout out at Fit to Rave, Shannon. I actually didn't get this. We'll get into it in a second, but she gave me an extra robe and slippers so I could take them home with me, and I'm obsessed. So we're doing the whole, it didn't feel right to do this recap if I wasn't in the Hotel EDC robe. So we have a lot to go over today. If you guys are new to my reviews, I go through every single detail. And like I said, I'm going to start out this episode actually going over like everything you need to know about the festival and reviewing like the VIP experience, transportation options, Hotel EDC, new layout, new stages, art installations. I'm going to go through all that first. And then at the end of the episode, I'm going to go through my daily recaps and just share some fun stories, behind the scenes look at how it went hosting Insomniac Radio again and doing all those artist interviews. And then I actually posted a poll on my Instagram asking you guys for what questions you want me to address, and we'll do a little Q&A at the end. So if that all sounds good, I would love it if you guys would subscribe to the podcast, rate, review, give us a follow on socials at Rave Culture Cast. And that's pretty much it. Appreciate you guys being here. Let's get into it. Also, we got to shout out a sponsor of the podcast. Loop Earplugs just dropped their limited edition Tomorrowland collaboration, which is absolutely stunning. They did this last year and I got them in black and they were beautiful, but this year I got the purple packaging and it's so good, you guys. I'm going to open this on camera, but this is a festival match made in heaven. Loop's experience earplugs are made for concert and festival goers. They are absolutely spectacular. I carry them with me. I usually carry 2 cases on me at every show and festival just because I like to protect my hearing at events. So if you're somebody who goes to events, you really need to be wearing earplugs. So basically, this is less noise and a crispier sound. It filters the sound by 17 decibels, so it's really protecting your hearing. You can still hear the set clearly. You can still hear the bass, all of that good stuff, but it's going to protect your hearing, so you can rave to the grave. They're really, really pretty. So it comes with this carrying case and then interchangeable tips, so you guys can pick the size that fits best for your ears. So I'll take this whole case and I will clip this into my lunchbox so I don't forget it. But look at this packaging. It's this beautiful purple, but it's like holographic. It's so stunning. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera, but I'm absolutely obsessed with this. And if you guys are a fan of Tomorrowland, we are going this year and you love it, definitely shop the limited edition Tomorrowland earplugs. And of course, we have a discount for you. So if you guys use my code LoopXEmmaTML for Tomorrowland, LoopXEmmaTML, you'll get 15% off the Loop Link Plus experience bundles. You need to grab the Loop Link. Those are like the little hooks for your ears, and the Tomorrowland earplugs, or you can buy 2 or more of the Tomorrowland earplugs and that will get you 15% off. So it doesn't work on just one. You need 2 of these or the bundle, the Loop Link and the experience earplugs from Tomorrowland. So I'm going to link all that down below in the description if you want all those details, but they're absolutely fantastic. I love them. And if you guys, again, are a fan of Tomorrowland, I think you would love this limited edition collaboration. And I highly recommend the purple because I think it's stunning. Alrighty, fam. Let's just get into things because you know I like to talk and it's going to be a long episode, but shout out Loop Earplugs. Thank you for sponsoring the episode and keeping the train on the tracks here. Okay, so starting with our overview, I want to start from Hotel EDC. It makes the most sense. It's where I stayed this year. And, you know, it was a new experience for me. Hotel EDC is relatively new. You know, we had Camp EDC around for like 5 years now, I want to say. And Hotel EDC is either 2 or 3 years old. I forget if it came in 2021 or 2022. It might have been 22. So this is a 3rd year, I believe. But I wanted to just give my review of how that went. So for some background, if you guys did not know, I have all my vlogs up. Definitely go check that out. You guys will actually see what the experience was like from Hotel EDC check-in through, you know, days 1, 2, and 3 of the festival. The vlogs are so much fun, so definitely check those out. I'll link them below. But for some background, so this year I went to the festival for BeatBox Beverages. I work for BeatBox full-time as a community manager, and we are one of the biggest sponsors of the festival. We're an alcohol brand. So it was my first time really going to EDC like on behalf of the team, like with my coworkers. So that was like a different vibe for this year. And then Insomniac Radio did ask me back to host some of the live stream this year. And I only did Sunday, which if you guys watched the 2022 recap, in 2022, I went for Insomniac Radio and I hosted it all 3 days. So it just, there was a lot of things bringing me out here, a lot of opportunities, which was really cool, but it definitely was a work trip. One other thing I want to mention too is I feel like my group was so different, and I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but I feel like sometimes you'll attend a festival with a specific group of people and you get so attached to them over the festival weekend. Like you form so many memories with them. You have so many bonding moments. And I always leave the festival being like, that was the best group. Like I loved that group. We had the best time. And then you want to like recreate it so badly. But then you go to another festival with a different group and you're like, that group was just as amazing. Like that was such a fun festival too. And then I've had that experience so many times that I've realized like, each one is going to be special and unique in its own way. And even if a couple people like change in and out here and there, like you're never going to recreate the exact same energy or anything like that, but it's going to be different and special in another way. So I've kind of like made peace with that. And it's like less about having this huge, massive group for me and more just about like the quality of the people that I'm with. So going into EDC, I knew I would have my coworkers there, but a lot of them are not like heavily in the EDM scene. So for them, I was just excited to like take them to like my second home and have them, some of them, it was their first EDC, and I just wanted to like see it through their eyes. And then on the flip side, I had two of my best friends, BB and Garrett, who were going with a friend of theirs that works for Live Nation. So I kind of like, I knew that they were going to be there. And it worked out perfectly. They were at Resorts World at Hotel EDC as well. So like that was peace of mind. And then I also had my friends Shannon and Ken. Shannon is one of, my personal trainer. She's amazing. She was one of my coaching clients. She's a dear friend of mine now. She's also a mom and a content creator. So, and Ken is a DJ. He goes by Kess. He DJ'd on Groove Cruise. Like we've all become good friends. So they were also doing Hotel EDC. So I had my people there, but it was just like a different group. And I feel like I also have a lot of solo time at EDC to kind of like do my own thing as well. And like I feel like I've gotten more confident in that over the years, because I feel like me at 25 would like be freaking out that I like was going to have some alone time, but I feel like I navigate that really well now. And there were a couple moments over the weekend like where I was by myself. So yeah, I just wanted to set the scene. That's kind of how it was. So I went into it being like, so many different things could happen, but like I had my, my work commitments that I knew I needed to get done. So anyways, all that being said, essentially Hotel EDC takes place at Resorts World, which is a newer hotel. It's only been around since 2021. I had been dying to go to Resorts World. I follow this channel called Travel Ruby, and she does the most amazing tips and advice videos on Las Vegas. Like I watch literally every single video she puts out, and Resorts World was just like on my radar, and then they ended up putting Hotel EDC there, and it's a couple hotels in one. So I was in the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel. There's also the Conrad Hotel. All the artists stay at Resorts World as well. So you do have that to keep in mind. So like the artists are walking around, and then we were staff as well. So like a lot of the Live Nation staff members, like we're a sponsor, a lot of sponsors stay at Resorts World. So my hotel room was not decorated as Hotel EDC, which like if you do Hotel EDC, it looked like they had like, blankets out, they had pillowcases, you got the robe, you got the slippers, they got a whole like little gift box thing when they checked in. I didn't get that because I was in a staff room. So Shannon has done Hotel EDC before, and I went in her room and she was like, oh, I have a robe and slippers. Like, do you want these? And I was like, oh my God, yes, please. I would love them. And it's amazing. It's so warm. So anyways, so Hotel EDC is not cheap. I don't know the exact cost off the top of my head, but it's not cheap. But I did a full review with Shannon actually last year. We did a live stream together, and she like talked through her whole experience, because it is on the more expensive end. Like you definitely do not need to do it. I'm going to say that like off the bat. Did I absolutely love it? And will I do it next year? Yes, but it is very expensive. And you could like literally stay on any hotel on the Strip if you guys want, like whatever is affordable for your budget. But the perks of it obviously are the theming. So when I arrived, like the whole outside of the entrance to the hotel were decorated, and the lobby is fully decked out. So there was like everything was like wrapped in EDC photos and branding and like all these different photo backdrops and disco balls. And there was a whole DJ deck and DJs that were like performing around the clock. It was really cool. And you had like a couple like EDC performers walking around in character. So it was just like a vibe. Once you walked in, you were like, this is a party atmosphere. And that was really, really cool. And then like I mentioned, if you're staying there, you get your rooms are all decorated and you get the gift bags. The hotel itself was so nice. I absolutely loved my room. I had a huge room. The restaurants were all really good from what I ate. There was like a food court in there. There was great breakfast options. I would, eat when I came home the last day at like 6 a.m. So the pool was amazing as well. And then the other really nice thing is if you are doing Hotel EDC and you have the EDC wristband, you get access to the day club and the nightclub. So the day club is AU Day Club and the nightclub is Zouk. So I did end up doing both of them once, which was really nice as well. So it's like it's all in one, which I did appreciate because like Sunday when I woke up, I literally had to like drag my body out of bed and I went straight to the pool party. And like normally I wouldn't do that on a Sunday of EDC. I do pool parties like Thursday, Friday, and that's it. The other thing I liked was right at the base of the elevators when you went to go up, there was like a mini convenience store. So like your waters, your sodas, your snacks, all that stuff. I hit that up like almost every day. Like I got my Red Bull. So it was just really nice to have that like little mini convenience store right there in the lobby. One thing we didn't love, it's a safety measure, which I totally understand, but your room key doesn't allow you to go to any other floor. So there were a couple times where the girls like needed to borrow an outfit or I needed to like go get hair accessories and I literally couldn't go to their floors. So you would have to like go down to the lobby with each other, scan your room key, go up to the room. So that was the only thing. Like if you're on different floors and you're friends, you can't like just jump back and forth. You have to like go all the way down to the lobby and meet them. But other than that, like I said, I do like if it is in your budget, I do think it's worth it. The location is fantastic. I'm going to talk about transportation next, but getting to and from the festival was piece of cake, super freaking easy. I did end up going to one other pool party that was across the street at the brand new Fontainebleau Hotel. I went to, oh my God, I'm going to forget the name of it. Live Day Club. To see the Said the Sky and Trifecta show. So that was like nice and convenient. The only other thing though is it is further up the Strip or down the Strip. I don't know which way it is, but it's not like central where like years prior I always stayed kind of like in the middle of the Strip so I could walk to everything. So if you wanted to go like further down, I went to the Luxor one day to go to the iHeartRave's Lux Rave pop-up shop. I had to Uber all the way there. So just keep that in mind. But if you're really not going to leave Hotel EDC and just do like a couple things around there, then it's obviously like super convenient. So that's kind of everything I think I have to say about Hotel EDC. Overall, I really liked it. And like I said, spoiler alert, hope to go back next year because I'm literally hooked on EDC for life. And I loved Hotel EDC so much that I would definitely do it again. Like just like the energy of walking around, like there were 1,000,001 ravers, like everyone is there for EDC. I saw a couple artists like just in passing in the hotel, so that was really cool, and just bumped into so many people like I know in the industry, so I did appreciate all of that. Next up, transportation. So I will speak to transportation from Resorts World. So I did shuttles. We had staff shuttles. They were the Live Nation shuttle. So it was different. I didn't do the premium shuttles. I didn't do like the regular EDC shuttles, and they obviously operate a little differently because we are staff. So overall, I did shuttles most of the days. The first night on Friday, which I feel like is always the worst with traffic. It just is. It's the first day and there's a lot of coordination that I feel like gets better throughout the weekend. So the first day it took us an hour to get in, really not bad. It went so fast. And then it took about an hour to go home. And then we left on the 7 p.m. shuttle there. So we got there around 8, solid. And then I think I left on the 4 a.m. shuttle, I want to say. And we got back around 5:15 going home. And I fell like right asleep. And then on Saturday, I ended up driving with my coworker because she had her car and, didn't want to go alone. And I was like, sure, no problem. So I ended up getting that experience with her as well. And we left on the earlier side. I want to say we might have left at like 6:30. And to our own issues, and this is like one con, there were just a lot of miscommunications with security and traffic directions and things like that. So we had a specific staff parking lot that we were supposed to go to, and the way we approached the speedway, unfortunately, they like literally made us go in circles, and we ended up driving around the entire raceway like almost 2 times. It was like actually very frustrating because like we could have like cut through this little path and they just would not let us do it. They literally sent us around the whole raceway. So anyway, so it ended up taking us maybe 45 minutes total, but had we not like gotten turned around, it would have been like 30 minutes from Resorts World, which is so nice because if you guys have been to EDC over the years, you know the struggle. So we did that, and then on Saturday we left around 5:30 in the morning, and I want to say got back at like 6:10. So again, really not bad. And then on Sunday I ended up Ubering to the festival myself. I just wanted to get in early, and the shuttles they didn't begin until 8 p.m. and that was too late for me. So I think similarly I got an Uber around like 6:50, I want to say 6:45-ish, and only took me about 35 minutes. It really was not bad. And it cost me about $70. I will say that. So it was very expensive for me to pay for myself. If I was splitting it, it wouldn't have been as bad. But to go one way, like 30 minutes, $70 was pretty pricey. So just to keep that in mind. And then Sunday, I ended up taking the Live Nation shuttles home. And again, took about 35 minutes. So overall, I was very happy with transportation. I feel like it was one of the most smooth transportation years I've ever had. I think shuttles are just a great option. You have a designated driver. There's a pickup and drop off location. It's easy to find, and then you can just sleep on the way back. So I'm pro shuttles. I feel like that was a good thing. Uber wasn't bad timing wise. It's just very expensive. And then driving, like I didn't have to drive, which was nice. It's hard. If you have to drive home at the end of the night, like you're just so tired. I could not imagine driving like a long distance home. But overall, happy. We're going to give it, I don't even know what I want to rate. Maybe like a B+. A-. It was pretty solid, guys, this year. That's pretty good. All right, I need to keep this moving along quicker. Okay, anyways, new layout of the festival. So let's talk about it. So one of the biggest things this year with EDC Las Vegas is that they moved some stages around, and this was a major change in years prior. This was my 8th EDC Vegas, and it felt so new. One, because I didn't go last year, so I had a break. I had gone 7 years in a row and finally took a break. So to be back just felt special in itself. But then also what they did is they took 2 of the big stages, Wasteland and Base Pod. They swapped them with Neon Garden and Quantum Valley. So that was like a huge shift. They also moved downtown EDC into the center of the festival, which was like A++, guys. I loved it. I thought the move for downtown EDC, it just felt so right. It made so much sense. There's like all these different ways you can get in there, but at least once you were in the middle of the festival, like it had each of its spots. You had like the wedding chapels, you had the new EDC country saloon, you had a dating game show, you had like bars and food in there, Lost and Found was in there. So it just was like nicely contained in the center of the festival, and I hope that they keep it that way. But I did like the shift in the way they move things. I did spend a lot of time at Base Pod. I didn't experience too many like largely trafficked areas other than trying to get into Woolly on Saturday. VIP took a minute. It was a little bit crowded, but I think that move was for the better. If you were over near Circuit Grounds, in between Circuit Grounds and Neon Garden, that's where Base Pod essentially used to be, and that's where all the bottlenecking was happening the last few years. That was really bad. So overall, that space in between Neon Garden and Circuit Grounds was amazing. They put so much art in there. That was the whole Pixel Forest area. I have like in my day 3 vlog, I did a full tour and like walkthrough of it. Loved it. The only thing is, I would say overall, the most crowded, dense areas I, always experience, which is pretty typical, were Circuit Grounds and Kinetic Field, because those are basically like your main stages. I feel like Circuit Grounds is outgrowing that stage design. I think they need to make it bigger, which I know sounds crazy, but as EDC gets bigger and they up the capacity every year, Circuit Grounds is basically a main stage. And I feel like the most just traffic I run into when I'm even just like walking by the GA area is at Circuit Grounds. And for the Fred Again like surprise set, that was like the most dense the crowd was that I saw. And then I did go to Subtronics at Kinetic Field, and that was also like pretty dense of a crowd. So that's the only thing. Do I think it was way better than like the Base Pod Circuit Grounds issue? Yes, I think that space was amazing, but I still think there's room to grow. And then the other thing I will say with the Neon Garden and Quantum Valley placement, this happened to me on Sunday. Their mega structures, which I fucking love a mega structure, like the Neon Garden stage was chef's kiss. Like the lighting, like everything was sickening. Quantum Valley was amazing. They're covered. And the fireworks go off literally right above them, like on that side of the speedway, the fireworks go off. So you would have a perfect view of them. You can't see shit. So if you like say you were at Neon Garden all 3 nights during the fireworks, you literally would never see the fireworks, which you may not care about, but the fireworks are so beautiful and I look forward to them every year. So luckily on Sunday, I was at the Prida set when the fireworks went off and I was backstage. So I was able to like run behind the stage and watch them. But I thought that was one con. I was like, that kind of sucks. The whole weekend you would have the best view and these are mega structures. But I guess like if I had to pick, I would rather the mega structure because I just like the design of that stage versus it being open air. I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do with that in the future. Like I wonder if they're going to make Quantum or Circuit Grounds open air again. Quantum was open air at one point. I think, oh God, what year was that? 2019. If you guys remember it, it was like a mega structure, but it was open. So you could still see the fireworks through it. So I don't know. I'm very curious to see what they do. But anyways, I will clap it up. I really liked the layout and the new stage like layout and the new map. I really did. I think it was awesome. I'm trying to think if anything else was majorly changed. Stereo Bloom was really cool. I liked that whole area. I thought the art car placement was nice. The Rhino Bus art car had a lot of space around it, and like Alice in Wonderland did a techno set there. I feel like the Rhino Bus had a lot of big moments. The Meta Phoenix art car was very fucking cool. It was a Burning Man art car that they brought out there that my girl Lizzie Jane played on. So, and then we had our boombox, our beatbox art car, which was so cool. So yeah, overall, very big fan. I'm curious to see if like they majorly change anything next year, but I did like it. Same thing for the art installations and the production. I felt like this year, and again, I missed last year, so some things may have been the same, but for me, there was so much art and the themed areas were so cool. I just loved them. Like the whole Pixel Forest area was fucking stunning. All the art installations were just so cool to look at. I need to look up the name of this one that they had. It was this like massive like pillar structure that you could see through. I think it was called like the reflection of something. Let me see if I can look it up. The Lucid Portal. The Lucid Portal was so cool. The Emergence like art installation, you could go inside of it. That was amazing. Toroid was another one. The Rhino Bus art car. Geist was this thing that you could walk through. Then they had the Rise statue, which was beautiful, and this other statue called Together. They were massive. Like I couldn't believe the size of these art installations in person. Then just looking at the map, Nomad's Land, that whole area was very fucking cool. That's between Base Pod and Wasteland. It's this like broken down, like burned down city. There was just so many different unique things you could walk through that I thought were cool. They had these art installations that were at Okeechobee that were really beautiful. So overall, that was awesome. There was also this new area, again, new to me this year, called Daisy Fields that was over near Kinetic Field. It was like a flower tunnel that you could walk through that was all like black light. Anyways, I could go on and on. I just felt like the art installations were really stepped up, and that's why I say to save time to like go and explore, because basically I was so busy on Friday and Saturday. That's why I Ubered myself on Sunday, because I was like, I want to save an hour to myself to just walk around and get you guys videos of everything that I didn't see all weekend. So I literally just like walked all through Nomad's Land. I walked all through Pixel Forest. Then I went to Kinetic VIP, which we'll chat about next. And I'm sure I missed things, like I didn't get over to the Bamboo DNA area. I didn't do like any rides this year. Like there's so many of those other things. So that's why I say I've been back 8 times and I literally have not done everything, guys. It's crazy. One other thing I want to point out, there was more signage this year, which I really appreciated. So there was like plenty of just like actual physical signs, and then they had LED screen signage as well. So I really, really liked that. And again, that was new to me. So I just noticed it. I was walking around and I felt like there was like pretty solid signage of where to go. And then let's talk about the water refill stations, because I feel like that was a hot topic this year. This is the thing. Were there enough water stations? No, especially not for GA. So this year they had one over near Gate S that was right near Kinetic Field. So that essentially, like looking at the map, that essentially was going to service the Kinetic Field Quantum, I guess, Neon Garden area, even though it's a pretty big area. And then they put 2 free GA water refills on opposite ends of Cosmic Meadow. So I guess the one was kind of for like Cosmic Bionic Jungle Stereo Bloom, and the other, I guess, was supposed to be like Cosmic and Wasteland / Base Pod ? None near Circuit Grounds. So I think that was the biggest glaring thing to me, because again, Circuit Grounds is basically a main stage. So I was shocked that there was no GA water refill. Now, here's the thing. Was there VIP water refill stations? Yes. So they had, Kinetic had its own VIP water, Neon Garden and Quantum had water, Circuit Grounds had water. Basically, almost every single VIP area, it looks like, except for Base Pod, had VIP water refill stations. So for me, because I had access to those, I never went to a GA one, because I was like, I'm not gonna, actually we went to one once. I was just like, I'm not gonna clog up their water refill stations when I can like refill at all these other stages. So like that's how I went about it. So it's just tricky, because it's like, do I think there were enough? No, I think that whole section near Circuit Grounds like at least needed one more. But for me personally, I went to the bar and filled it up if I needed to. Like, I would never put myself in a situation where I'm like literally getting dehydrated. Getting dehydrated, or somebody in my group is not drinking enough water, because I don't want to go out of my way to walk to a free water refill station. Like, obviously use common sense. If you're dehydrated and you're really far from a free water refill station, like go to the bar and buy a $5 water. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. Should there be more free water refill stations? 100% sure. But I just feel like in those situations, like if anyone got into an emergency like that, like there's 1,000,001 bars, like please go buy a water and just refill your pack. And then the other thing, I did a video about this before I went. I tried to help people strategize how to hit up the water refill station so they didn't run into those scenarios. But I was like, when you first get in, like fill your water immediately, like get a full hydration pack at the get-go. And then depending on where you're going, like try and go out of your way a little bit, even if it's just like a little bit off your path, to hit one of those free water refill stations, so that you can get your water. So unless you're like literally staying at one stage the entire night, like if you're posted up at Circuit Grounds the whole night, that obviously sucks. Like there's no free water near you. So yeah, it's really, really hard. But in those scenarios, like I would just go to the bar and buy water in that case, or like buy a lemonade or something along those lines. But yeah, next year, I really, really hope they listen to the feedback, and I hope they add a water refill station near Circuit Grounds, because it was for sure missing it. Okay, so a couple last things, and then we'll just get into a quick like recap. I want to talk about the VIP areas, since I touched on that a little bit. So I feel like one of the most popular questions I've gotten literally within the last few weeks was VIP worth it? Like, do you think I should do the VIP ticket or the GA ticket? And I think a lot of people just get really, really nervous about the crowding, and they're just concerned. So here's the thing. I did GA for EDC Las Vegas 5 years in a row. Loved it. Had the most amazing experiences. You know, obviously are there cons for sure. Then I won tickets. I won VIP tickets in 2019, and we finally got to have that experience. And I feel like it made it that much sweeter, because I had done 5 EDCs with GA. So like to finally get it was really, really cool. And then in years prior, I've obviously had like artist bands, or I've had work bands and things like that, because I now like work within the industry. So I've had so many different experiences. And short answer, do I think VIP is worth it at EDC? Yes, I do think it is worth the money. Do you need to do it right off the bat for your first EDC? No, I think you can 1000% do GA or GA plus if you want a little bit elevated. And have an amazing experience. I feel like it's something you should either like save up for if you feel like you're only going to do one EDC in your lifetime, or this is a huge trip, or if it's just in your budget and you do the layaway plan, like amazing, splurge for it, go for it. We'll talk about the pros of it. But I think you can 1000% have an amazing experience at EDC Las Vegas with the GA ticket too. So, the prices have gone up. I've seen people talking about it. It is really, really expensive. So one other thing I want you to think about when you're weighing your options on what EDC Las Vegas ticket to get is think about the expenses outside of the ticket as well. So if your budget is really close to a GA price, you also need to factor in obviously your flight or your transportation, your hotel or accommodations. If you're going to do camp EDC, that is an additional cost as well, plus everything you would spend the weekend of. So your food, alcohol, merch, whatever it is, you're in Las Vegas, pool parties, entry to different nightclubs, like all of that is factored into your weekend as well. So just think about that, because if you do want to splurge and get the VIP tickets, which I do think are worth it, you need to think about what you want to do like outside the festival and what your budget is for all of those other things. But if you do a GA ticket, you could also go like a little bit bigger and go for a nicer hotel or a more, amazing location, so that's easier to get to the festival. You can get, the premium shuttle passes if you want to. So kind of like pick and choose your options and see what you want to spend. But I will say, so the perks of VIP, you get expedited entry into the festival. So if you're someone that's going to go during like a really, really busy time, you want to go a little bit later in the night, you have expedited entry. You have the trailer bathrooms, which are nicer. Still lines at a lot of them. I experienced a lot of lines at VIP bathrooms, but you do have the separate dancing areas and like viewing platforms and things like that. So that's obviously one of my favorite perks, just because the crowds can be so dense at some of the stages. So just knowing like I can go right into VIP and I can kind of like make my way up to the front faster. I feel like that's just a huge perk for me. The other thing I really like about VIP areas is, again, it's easier to navigate. So your trailer bathrooms are right there. You have separate food. You have separate bars. You have your own free water refill stations. They each have their own perks. So each of the VIP areas at the stages have different amenities. So in my vlogs, you'll see at Kinetic Field's VIP is huge. You guys get so much there. It's actually crazy. Photo opportunities, candy making, Volta Beauty Bar. There was a water maze that was so freaking cool. You get breakfast after 4 a.m. They do a breakfast bar at Kinetic Field. You have your separate rides. Like, there's just so many amenities in VIP areas. There was an arcade at Circuit Grounds. I didn't even get to go in there. So there's obviously pros. There's some major things you can do. But the other thing I always think about is you can't get to everything. Like, I've done VIP in years prior too, and like half the time I don't even end up using half of the VIP amenities that they give you. So that's also something to weigh. So like that's why I like to go from beginning to end, because you really can just like take in as much as possible. Another pro of VIP is you get fast pass lanes on rides. So if you're a big ride person, if you're the Ferris wheel, like any of the rides, you guys like basically can cut the line with the VIP tickets. So that's also a huge pro to VIP. But overall, hopefully I gave you guys a lot to think about here. Again, if you're like a first timer, if you're just coming out to EDC, you could do GA, you know what I mean? Like, you could definitely get away with it. But again, if it's in your budget, if you're a little bit older, if you like the amenities, things like that, VIP is fucking sweet. Another thing I want to mention, because I got to experience it for the first time this year, is the Sky Deck. So Sky Deck is something entirely different. So Sky Deck is bottle service. So at Kinetic Field and at Circuit Grounds, there are elevated viewing platforms that are huge, and it's just straight up bottle service. So it's just like couches, bottle service. That was crazy to experience. So basically BeatBox had gotten 2 tables on Friday and Saturday for like the team. And then we had like a bunch of like influencers come out with us this year that were amazing. So I got to like go visit for a little. I really did not spend much time there at all. I just wanted to like see what it looked like. So at Kinetic Field, you have to scan your wristband and show them what day you have Sky Deck for. So you have to book it every single night if you want to do it all 3 days. And it's expensive, but I went in, they had their own ride in there. They had like food, which was really cool, like nice food, your own bathrooms, trailer bathrooms. And then the Sky Deck was massive. It was massive. It was like multiple platforms that were to like the left of Kinetic Field, like a beautiful view. And then it was just like table after table after table after table. Like, it's just crazy to see this other side of it. And so many different types of people are up there, but that was just really wild to see. The only con for me personally, like, I'm a fan first. I want to be in the crowd. Like, if you buy bottle service, then you're stuck at Kinetic Field the entire night, which for a lot of people, like, if you're into more, like that kind of music, or like you want to just see big headliners, of course it's going to be amazing. So that's why like a lot of sponsors are up there, or people who may not even be into the scene that much, but they like want to go to EDC. Like I feel like that is what you'll see a lot of, or if it's like a celebration or something, you want to do it one night. But again, you're there the whole night. Of course you can leave and go explore the festival and come back. You have your wristband, but you're spending a lot of money to be there. So that was really cool to experience. I didn't go to the one at Circuit Grounds. Our bands were only for Kinetic Field, so that's something to think about too. Okay, I think we're almost done with the review of everything. I want to make sure I cover everything. I want to talk about, I guess let's do food and drink options this year. So honestly, guys, I did not eat as much as I should have, and I'm kind of mad at myself, but I ate before the festival. I make sure I always get in my big meal before going. And then Friday, I ate orange chicken and rice at 2:30 in the morning because I was so hungry and I was like, please God. So I ate that. That was in the VIP area at Circuit Grounds. That was pretty solid. And then, oh God, what else? I got a quesadilla on Sunday when I was doing Insomniac Radio, but honestly, I was like so nervous and I didn't really want to get anything in my teeth, so I like barely ate it, and then it was just like interviews, go. And I think that's really all I ate at the festival, which I'm really mad at myself because there's so many good food options. I did get a lemonade. It's not an EDC if I don't get a lemonade. But yeah, there was like hibachi there. I mean, there's everything you can think of: pizza, chicken tenders, loaded mac and cheese, like everything. So from what I saw, there were 1,000,001 food options. Obviously drinks, I'm drinking BeatBox Beverages. We have our own activation, so we had our whole beat bus there. We dropped our new flavor, cherry limeade, so that was really cool. But if you watch the vlogs, and I'll talk about this in my recap, we were nursing a serious hangover on Friday, so I didn't touch anything on Friday. I was a sober Sally, and I was like, I can't even drink BeatBox right now. So I was like, I'm good. And then I finally drank on Sunday. I had some BeatBox on Sunday, but yeah, so that was just like, I just had a late night on Thursday. We'll talk about it in a second, but yeah, so BeatBox is obviously always my go-to festival drink because you get your cap and you can like put it in your bag for later. But there's plenty of bars. So that's kind of everything I want to say about that. I do want to talk a little bit about security and medical because I do have a friend, John T, who did a video that, talking about an experience that he had, which, trigger warning, he experienced an overdose situation in the crowd where he had to administer Narcan. That was just very traumatic for him and the people involved. I went through something similar at Electric Forest, but not to the scale that he and his friends went through. So one thing I want to talk about with security and medical is, and I always do this when I do the medical, or when I do the map review, like obviously I always say it's important to know where medical tents are, but I really mean that, like really, really mean that, because you just never know when you're going to be in a situation where you might be the only person in the right state of mind to literally help save somebody's life, is what happened in this scenario. And if you don't know where medical is, if you don't know where security is, if you don't know where the nearest person who's going to have like a walkie-talkie or be able to help you in any way, shape, or form, like that can obviously be worst case scenario. So always, always, always look for the little cross on the map, the red cross, know where the medical tents are, even where the sound booth is, like basically anywhere you can get to where you can find a staff is going to be important. There's also End Overdose. They have a tent every festival now at Insomniac events, which is great. So they hand out free Narcan and they do Narcan training, which I highly recommend that you guys go do. But anyways, I'm not going to get into the whole story. You can definitely go check out his TikTok about it. It literally hit like 1.5 million views, and I'm very proud of him for telling his story because I know he's going to be unpacking that for a while. But basically somebody overdosed in front of them in the crowd, and they had noticed it, which was something I didn't realize. But one tip he shared, which I didn't realize, is he saw a bunch of phone flashlights go up in the air, like waving a bunch. And apparently that's a sign that like people need help. If it's ever in a really deep crowd, you guys just take out your phones and flash in the sky to get help. So him and his friend had noticed that people were doing that, and they ended up going over to this man who was unconscious on the floor, and they did all the proper like protocol to check their pulse, check their breathing, everything like that, administer Narcan, and unfortunately like had to administer it multiple times. And then what ended up happening is John T ended up leaving to go and try and find medical help, and literally could not find a single person, ground control, medical team, anything. And I think he either ended up going up to the sound booth, or he approached a staff member and was like, can you walkie-talkie and get someone here? And the person didn't even have a walkie-talkie to get help. So it was just like a very traumatic experience because he felt like helpless in that moment. But they did everything that they could, and eventually somebody ended up coming over, scooping this man up and like running out of the crowd. So you just never know when something like that is going to happen. So like understanding the training or just knowing where to go get help is really important. So my whole point of this story is just that like these crowds are so dense, and I don't really have an answer for his situation because I really thought about it over and over again. And I was like, I was there. I've been at Cosmic Meadow. That's the stage that they were at. And it's like, medical isn't just like chilling in the crowd. Like ground control will walk around. They're, that's why they're there. Insomniac hires them to look after people and be your guardian angels in the crowd and know how to respond. But when you have 60,000, 40,000 people in a crowd, they're not always just like walking around. So I think it's just something to think about. And I hope Insomniac saw that video because it just made me be like, maybe there should even be like outside of the medical tents, like maybe there should be like mini medical like kiosks or even like stations like at every single festival on each side of each stage. So like you just know, okay, at the back of Cosmic Meadow, I know there's like a medical pop-up right there. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I hope that makes sense. But I just think like there should be more, essentially, is what I'm saying. Like, is there a way to just like have a point person or multiple that you can run to at the back of the stage if the medical tent isn't that close? Because EDC has 170,000 people every single night. Like the medical tents are not always going to be right there. So I think it would just be nice to know that there is like other areas. Anyways, sorry, I spent a lot of time on that, but I just think it's a really, really important topic. And when you go to a festival this big, things like that happen. So it's just important to address. And I saw multiple posts about people dealing with OD situations in the crowd, and it's just very scary and very traumatic. So obviously, I always say this as your rave mom, but like this is why we stay hydrated. This is why you test your substances. This is why you stay with your friends and make sure your friends are okay and you know where the different tents are and things like that. But last final thought for this review is the crowd and the foot traffic, because that's obviously something I'm kind of touching on, but people ask every year, like, how packed was it? How busy were the stages? And I do think the new layout for sure helped with that personally. There was some crowding at Circuit Grounds, a little bit at Base Pod in the VIP area, and a little bit at Kinetic Field. The only other area that we dealt with a ton of traffic was when we went to go to Slander's set at Cosmic Meadow. We basically were getting there like as they were coming on, and we were trying to go in VIP, and it was just like the great migration coming over to Cosmic Meadow. So definitely around particular artists, depending on the timing, like it's just hit or miss. You just don't know if you're gonna like walk into something crazy like that. But overall, I had positive experiences with people in the crowd. Like it's always like tricky for me because I don't respond to really like negative, like super negative comments on social media, because sometimes I feel like negative people are the loudest. Also, half the time the people writing negative comments weren't even at the festival, which is like, what the fuck? But yeah, I'll see comments being like, the EDC crowd was like the rudest it's ever been, blah, blah, blah. And if that was like your experience the whole weekend, I completely understand that. But for me, maybe I just acknowledge there's so many people. There's like 170,000, however, 500 something thousand over the course of the weekend. Like, of course there's going to be rude people. Like, it's just how it is. There's going to be rude people in the crowd, but there's been so many amazing people, and I ran into so many polite people. And I felt the plur in the crowd, and, made some cool connections and things like that. And the conversations I had with you guys were absolutely amazing. So it's just hard. I feel like it depends on the stage. It depends on the artist. You know what I mean? It's just tricky if you're trying to we're trying to walk into the surprise set during the surprise set. Like, it just was crazy. But, again, I've said this a million times, manners cost nothing. And it's just really, really important to say, excuse me, in the crowd, and just be kind and treat people the way you want to be treated. And that, people should just be raised that way. So I obviously hope that this community just continues to get better and the crowds get better and things like that. But I just feel like for me, I just have certain expectations, and it's not going to ruin my night. I know there's going to be rude people. I know there's going to be some pushing and shoving. I'd hope that they do better in the future. But that is kind of like how everything went for me personally. I know I finished these recaps and I'm like, I forgot to talk about that. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time. I really tried to address everything I wanted to address. I'm going to save the last like 15 minutes here just to give you guys like a little review of every day, because I would absolutely love it if you guys would go check out the vlogs. Like I said, it really paints the picture for you of what it was like, and you'll see the sets and like all the fun memories. But before we go any further, you guys, I do have some tickets I am selling. If you guys want to get some of your Insomniac tickets through me, very, very much appreciate it. So I think we have some Beyond Wonderland Chicago, which is literally this weekend. If it's not sold out already, I have Beyond Wonderland Chicago. If you guys want to pick that up through me, Forbidden Kingdom I'm selling for this year, so definitely feel free to grab Forbidden Kingdom. I also have Day Trip LA, and I have Beyond Wonderland Pacific Northwest at the Gorge. So feel free to grab those Insomniac tickets through me down below. Very much appreciate it, you guys. All right, let's wrap up this episode. Alrighty, you guys. So I think I touched on a lot, but I'll kind of just give you my recap. So for me personally, I spent a lot of time in Vegas this year. I ended up flying in super late Wednesday night. I got to the Hotel EDC around like 11:30, and honestly, like pretty much went straight to sleep. Flights were ridiculous this year. Next year, it's just so much time away from my son. So like next year, ideally, I would do Thursday to Monday if it's another work-related trip, but the really, really nice thing was I loved my Thursday this year. It was kind of like the calm before the storm, and we were just like kind of waiting for our coworkers to get in. I just had a really chill day. It was just so nice. So I kind of got to wake up refreshed, and I went and got my wristband, my festival wristband. I went and had a pool day, which was so nice. I met up with my girl Lizzie Jane, my friends Shannon and Ken. Some of my coworkers were there already. Some of the Ophelia crew that I've hung out with on Groove Cruise, Skeeter from Groove Cruise, like everyone was at Hotel EDC. So we had like a really nice pool day and just got to like chill, have lunch, and I really, really enjoyed that. Like I said, I also popped over to Live at the Fontainebleau and saw the Said the Sky and Trifecta show, so that was really, really cool. And that was just like a nice thing. I kept it super tame, like didn't go crazy, and we got lucky. We were behind the stage, so that was nice. I had a lot of behind the stage moments. None of that is lost on me. I just want to say that like right here. Like it's just, I had so many pinch me moments this year that I was like, I literally dreamed about being here years ago. Like EDC 2015 was my first festival, so to see my own growth, and I know you guys have written to me and you're like, it's so crazy to see your journey. I feel the same. Like I literally feel the same. Every EDC I have just continues to top itself, and I'm like, how? Like this is so crazy. So anyways, so just from making like friends and connections, we had like a table for a Trifecta Sam, and that was really, really special. One funny little story I'll tell you guys. So I told it in the vlog, but it was just like a get your head out of your ass moment, Emma. So Wednesday night, I check into Hotel EDC. Obviously, it like isn't crazy yet because I'm pretty sure Hotel EDC is only like Thursday to Monday, and Thursday is like an early arrival that you have to pay for. Otherwise, it's like Friday to Monday. So I get in like late Wednesday night, get my room key, go up to my room. First red flag. Go to my room and the door is open. Now you're probably thinking, fuck no, I would absolutely not go in that room. But my ass is like, that's weird. It's like cracked open a little bit. So basically I didn't scan my room key, and I just opened the door and I'm like, let me do a full sweep of the room to make sure there's no murderers in here. Right? Like, let's make sure no one's going to be popping out of the windows and murdering me in my sleep. So I go in. I hope my parents aren't listening to this. I go in and I'm like, I do a full sweep. I check everything. I'm like, okay, looks good. Shut the door. Second thing I notice, it's 2 queen beds. I was supposed to have a king bed. Also, it's late. I'm tired. Don't think anything of it. Then I go to get on Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi won't work. And I'm like typing in my last name and my room number, and it's like, there is no room match for that. And I was like, red flag number 3 also doesn't register because I'm like tired and ready to go to sleep. So I go to sleep, and then in the morning, basically like wake up, leave, go get my festival wristband, come back to the hotel, pick up Lizzie Jane, and she was dropping stuff off in my room. So I'm like, okay, let's go up to the room. We go up, and I go to scan my room key. It's turning red. We're like, what the fuck? Do the room key again, turns red. And I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, let's go downstairs. We go downstairs. Now it's Thursday. Everyone's checking into the freaking hotel. The line is so long at check-in. My boss is online. We get online. I end up like waiting this whole time, go up to the front, like tell the guy the situation. And I was like, so here's the thing. My room was open last night. Like number 2, number 3, blah, blah, blah. And he like gives me this look, and he's like, okay. He like looks up the room, and he basically was like, can you wait here for a second? And like calls over his other coworkers, and they all like leave their front desks and like go in the back for a meeting. And in my head, I'm like, what did I just do? Like, I feel like I just did something really wrong. And he comes back out and he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, this has never happened before. He's like, that's not your room. And in my head, like, I haven't been back now for a couple hours. So I'm like, cool. Hopefully all my things are in that room right now. Hopefully nobody like went and checked in. Like, all my shit is in there, my laptop, my like belongings. And I'm like, cool. Okay. And then he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, it shouldn't have happened that way. You should be in a king room. Like, do you want to change rooms to the room you should have had, or do you want to stay there? And I was like, at this point, I freaking unpacked everything. All my stuff's in there. I was like, I would like to stay if that's possible. And he's like, okay, let me check. So anyways, he ends up letting me stay in the room, thankfully. But that's why nothing fucking worked. I wasn't even supposed to be in there. So I don't know how that happened. So I guess that's one slap on the wrist, Hotel EDC, but I think it was just like a mistake. So it all worked out. All my stuff was in there. We were good. Yeah, but that was just like an Emma, don't be a dumbass. Like, there were so many red flags. Why did you not realize that? So that was a fun little story from day one. Other really cool opportunity on Thursday, we ended up doing like a whole team dinner for BeatBox, which was really special. So I kind of mentioned it, but our influencer marketing director, Fee, total badass. We love her. She organized this like whole trip and had like 10 of her influencer friends who are like these massive TikTokers. You guys would probably know them, come out for EDC weekend. So we did this like really big dinner, which was so fun. Like, Keizo came to it. His managers came. We took a party bus there. Like, it just was so fun. And I ended up just getting like really lit at dinner. And then after, I was like, I'm going to be responsible and I'm going to go to sleep. I did not go to sleep, friends. They were like, oh, we have a table at Zook for Millennium. And I was like, well, I'm not going to say no to that. So then I'm like, no, I'm going to go. So then I basically just went out, and it was like incredible. It was just like literally in the middle of the dance floor, like so good, and had ourselves a little night. And then it was like 2 a.m. and I was like, Emma, you need to go to sleep. I had a meet and greet the next morning at iHeart Raves, and I had a hair appointment at 9:30. I was like, go to sleep. So went back to bed, woke up Friday, violently hungover. Like, I just couldn't believe it. And like, I'm still getting used to drinking again because I had my baby last year, so I didn't drink for like a really long time, and I'm still just like getting used to it. And I just like, I guess I'm like a lightweight. So anyway, wake up so hungover, and I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Uber over to the Luxor for the iHeart Raves pop-up shop, get my hair braided. I'm like so tired, so out of it. And again, I'm like trying to like drink down this smoothie and my coffee, and I like literally couldn't eat anything. It was so bad. And luckily I do the meet and greet, and that like snapped me out of it, and I just like lit up. It was so amazing. I met the nicest people. Thank you to everybody who came out to that. Like, you literally made my morning. So that was just like so incredible. And thank you again to the iHeart Raves team. That was really cool. The pop-up shop was amazing. I ended up buying like other accessories, but they had like so many different outfits, so many menswear this year, like all kinds of other vendors were there. So it was really, really cool. And then I had like not a proud moment. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I basically get back to the hotel and get sick. So that was not fun. And I just like couldn't believe it. I felt a million times better afterwards, but I just was like, why? Literally, why? The first day of EDC, and this is how I'm kicking off EDC. So that was not fun. So I ended up like getting lunch. My coworkers were there, grabbed some food, and I napped. I was like, girl, you need a freaking nap. And then I think that definitely helped, but woke up. We ended up doing this photo shoot and video shoot with the Rave Mamas. If you guys know them, April and Darlene, my queens. I freaking love them. Got to interview them. We did like this whole shoot because they love beatbox. So this was like a beatbox thing we did with them. And then I ended up going to the festival on the 7 p.m. shuttles with my coworkers. That was all really great. I wore this custom Cloud 99 outfit that was absolutely incredible and felt amazing, and it was so special. This was a thing though. It felt like June EDC on Friday. It was so hot, and I don't remember the last time feeling like that hot at nighttime. Like, we were all like sweating bullets, and I had pants. I was in flare ass pants. So I brought a second outfit to change into. As much as I wanted to wear that custom fit the whole night, I was like, there's no way. So I ended up literally just changing into a romper and like stored my stuff overnight. But it was just so hot. So that's like the hit or miss thing. Like, so many people ask me about weather every year, and I'm just like, it's hit or miss. Like, the last few years it's been freezing at nighttime, and we've had like cold spells. This time I didn't need a single layer. I didn't need my pashmina. I didn't need anything. Like literally towards the end of the night when I was on the shuttle, I was glad that I had like my jersey with me just to throw over myself on the shuttle. But other than that, like did not need anything. So Friday was amazing. We did fireworks on the bleachers during Slander's set. That was spectacular. Like you guys got to go to the bleachers for that view. It's amazing. And then, like I said, I left around 3:30 to get the 4 a.m. shuttles, and that was definitely the move. So I was very happy about that. Saturday, woke up refreshed, woke up not hungover. We loved our life. I was so happy. I ended up sleeping in maybe till like 1, I want to say. It was pretty nice. You had blackout curtains. That was one thing. I was very happy I did a hotel this year and not camp. I was like, I need a break from the heat at camp. So blackout curtains, we love that. Day 2 was really fun. We went to do atomic golf in Vegas as a team. So that was like something different I had never done before. And that was just really fun. They sold BeatBox at the atomic golf. So we went as a team. We did golf. That was really cool. And then I ended up like scrapping my outfits kind of entirely. So I had my outfit for Sunday was planned, but I was supposed to wear this like full rhinestone catsuit moment, and with the heat, like absolutely not. So I ended up wearing my I Heart Raves outfit that I wore to the meet and greet. And that's just like something else I would throw out there, guys. Like definitely just bring extra outfits, or you can go to the pop-up shop because the heat just got to me. So anyway, Saturday was really awesome. I drove into the festival with my coworker Isabel, got to explore things. We did a BeatBox fam meetup. That was all amazing. And then we did like Fred again, which was okay. I'm not like, I love Fred again, but I'm not like the biggest fan of his music. So the set was okay. It was not my favorite thing ever. It just was like cool to watch him do his thing. Dom Dalla into Eli Brown back-to-back high-low. That time period of music was my favorite thing the whole weekend. It was freaking incredible. I love all of them, but like Eli Brown back-to-back high-low, best set of the weekend. They popped off. It was impeccable. The two of them together sounded amazing. I hope they upload that set. It was freaking incredible. Then we went and explored EDC. We saw worship from backstage. That was so cool. And it was a late night for me. I ended up staying out till 5 in the morning. Yep, pretty much 5 in the morning. We left around 5:30. The way I'm rushing right now, because I was like, I need to do this under an hour and it's already 57 minutes. Guys, it's not going to happen. If you're this far already, thank you for being here. Okay, so Saturday was really, really fun. We had Wackadoodle Hour. I was with BB and Garrett a lot of the night and got to spend that time with them. So that was just like so nice. So yeah, I was very, very happy with Saturday. Saturday, I felt like was less crazy than Friday. Friday was like a lot of running around, a lot of like trying to meet up with people and stuff like that. It honestly like felt very hectic and fast. Like Friday went by like that. Saturday felt like long, and I really liked that. We spent way more time at sets. I did a lot of bass pod on Saturday. I did Wilkinson. I did Boo, I think his name was. I did Wooly. You know, we were there for the plot, as Aid would say. And then Sunday was late because again, you're like nocturnal. That's like the only thing. The timing is just so crazy. So I like go to bed at 6 in the morning, 6:30 a.m. Ended up sleeping till 2, which was really nice. The only thing is like I hadn't eaten that much, which I, again, don't glorify that. Like I should have eaten more, but I didn't eat that much. So I wake up at 2 and I forgot like we were supposed to go to the Cranked App pool party with my BeatBox coworkers because we work with Cranked App, and you know, he got us passes to that. So they're texting at 2, like, all right, guys, let's like meet down in the lobby. I'm literally waking up. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't know if I can do this right now, but I didn't want to skip it because I wanted to say bye. Some of my coworkers were leaving. So I was like, Emma, you better rally right now. And I was like, do I go get food or do I go to the pool party? I literally get up, throw a bathing suit on. I go straight to the pool party. Don't regret it. I didn't stay long. I think I stayed for like maybe a half an hour, but I was so hungry and like thirsty. I just like chugged a water when I got there. But that was cool to see the AU Day Club and go to Cranked Out. So we really, really rallied. And then I was like, okay, I need to go get nachos. I need to go eat a full meal. So I went and did that, got ready. And, you know, I was a little nervous because Sunday was my Insomniac Radio day. And like part of me was like, okay, we've already had a whole weekend. We're way more tired than we were on day 1, less hungover, but way more tired. And I just was like kind of like that nervous anticipation excitement was kind of kicking in. So one thing for you guys, like I knew who I was going to interview because we can see like the time slots. So I signed up for like a 3-hour chunk of interviews, and I knew Pasquale and Mau P were an interview together. And I was like, guys, I have to do this interview. Like, this is my moment. I need to interview them. It's going to be amazing. So I was just like nervous thinking about all of that. So I went in early. I Ubered in by myself. Like I said, I got to like explore, really take everything in. I went to a friend's wedding who is part of BB's Rave fam. One of her good friends, Maddie and Lucas. Like I did EDC with them in 2021. So it was just really cool to see them, like how far they've come. And they got married at the Chapel of Technology, which if you didn't listen to last week's episode, go listen. I did a whole EDC weddings episode. So it was cool to like go to my first EDC wedding this year. So that was all really, really special. So I did that, and then I went over to Insomniac Radio, and like I mentioned, this was my second time doing it, so I kind of like knew the ropes a little bit, so that made me more comfortable. But it's like up in the artist compound area it's like behind Kinetic Field. So I went over there and got to see the team, which was really amazing to see everybody again. And my girl Lizzie Jane was doing interviews. So that was cool. And Bowie Jane and Andreas was doing some. So I got to go back there and kind of like get my bearings. And it was amazing. And I got to do some really, really cool interviews like Valentino Khan and Wookie and Lost Frequencies. And oh my gosh, there were so many. Shiba San, Deeper Purpose, Keizo. I'm going to forget people. Damon Sharp. Like there were a million that I did. And then Mao P and Pasquale. So this whole day I had like questions prepared for both of them. But when I got there, they were like, okay, there's going to be a lot of people here, blah, blah, blah. So just kind of like waiting for them to come over, and like right before the interview, the Rave Mamas walk up, and I think I got that immediate like sense of calm coming over me, like seeing someone I knew. So they walk up and I like give them hugs and I chat with them, and then Pasquale starts walking over, and then he sees the Rave Mamas, and they had like this whole moment. I like took photos for them, and then I got to like meet Pasquale again officially, and then meet Mao P, and that was really cool. And then I did their interview, and then in the middle of the interview, I'm sitting there, and meanwhile, to the right of me, which is like usually where the Insomniac Radio cameras are, like a million people, just like all these people came in, obviously, because Pasquale was there. So it's just like a million cameras and video cameras. And I'm just like, okay, this is happening. But I was like in my zone, and I felt good. And I'm just proud of myself because I'm just like, how? I don't like know how to describe it. Like I still get nervous before, but when I'm in it, I just like snap into it. And like Pasquale has been like obviously top people I've wanted to interview, but it went amazing. So anyway, in the middle of the interview, I hear like a commotion, and then like I just see Diplo walk around the couch and sit down, and in my brain I'm just like, holy shitballs. Like what would you do? Do you know what I mean? Like he's just like such a big figure. Like he's like an actual celebrity, and I'm not prepared for Diplo. I didn't spend all week coming up with questions for Diplo. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like in my brain, I'm like, I already have Pasquale and Mao P sitting here and all these people, and I'm like, oh my God. So luckily I was like able to think on my feet and ask a couple questions. And I think like everything overall, it all went well. But I wish there were so many questions I thought of after it was over. And I was like, God damn it. I wish I had like asked him, and Mao P just did this amazing back-to-back at Coachella. I wished I asked him about that. Like there were just so many ideas that came in, but I think I just wanted to like wrap up the interview because I was nervous. So anyways, I just like couldn't wait to tell you guys about it, because the minute I saw Pasquale's name on there, I was like, they're going to die. Like when I get to tell them that I'm doing this, because you just have been here for everything and you've seen the journey. And like, it's a win for all of us. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a win for us all, is how I see it. Because like, I don't know, this all blows my mind all the time. I'm like, I literally have just started a YouTube channel, and all these people just have watched it. And now I'm here at Insomniac Radio interviewing Pasquale and Mao P and Diplo. And I don't know how I got here. And it's just so crazy. So it just felt like a big moment for everybody. Anyways, so it was so cool. And at the very end, I did get to have like my moment with Pasquale. And I just like told him my story and told him how I started my YouTube channel because of EDC Vegas 2015. And I was like, I have my podcast, Rave Culture Cast. And he was like, I've seen you before. Like, I remember you. I've seen your face. And I was like, oh my God. And I just, anyways, I just like spewed the whole thing. I was like, I've been making Insomniac content for 7 years now. And this is such a full circle moment. Thank you for everything, blah, blah, blah. And it was just really nice. And yeah, and like I've met him in passing. Like I said, I won tickets to EDC in 2019. And Pasquale actually FaceTimed me. He FaceTimed all the winners. So I met him then, and I met him at Echo Stage very briefly. But it just was cool to like finally have that moment to like tell him my story, like give him a hug, everything. And he was just so genuinely nice, guys. Like he just took the time. He hugged me multiple times. He was so, so kind. So yeah, we got to end the episode on that note, because it was just crazy. And then the rest of the night was amazing. I ended up meeting up with Shannon and Ken. They were with the whole Ophelia crew, so that was amazing. Got to see all of them again. We went to Pride Set, we went to Cascade, we went to Triumph, I think that's how you say his name, Indira Paganato. So I finally got in my like Neon Garden, Quantum Valley fix because I literally didn't do those stages all weekend long. So it was like nice to finally go to those. And then I said my goodbyes. I left by myself. I walked over to the shuttles at 5 a.m., got my 5 a.m. shuttle, went to sleep for like 4 hours and then got on the flight home, which was crazy. And I know I always used to say this, but like, you really need to recover after EDC. And typically, like, I think the first few years we flew back on Monday, and then I realized that was a mistake, and then I would fly home Tuesday just so that you can like sleep all day Monday. Honestly, this was the best recovery I've ever had post EDC, which was amazing, knock on wood. Like, I just felt great. My bounce back was so much quicker, and that was like, as a mom, that was amazing because I just like, I had to get back into my routine. My son was up at 6:30 the next day on Tuesday, so like I didn't get sick this time. Like, it just was really, really, really nice. And I attribute that to like how I took care of my body all weekend long. Even though I was going to sleep at 6 a.m., I was still sleeping till like 2. I was staying hydrated. I wasn't doing anything crazy. Like, I think I just took care of my body in a good way. So other than just being like tired and recovering in that way, yeah, I'm just super happy with how it went. So honestly, next year I would probably leave on Monday again, just because it's less time away from my son. I just wanted to be home on Monday so I could see him Tuesday morning. But that is everything, guys. I didn't do it in under an hour. I'm sorry, but it was just so much to recap. And I hope these are valuable. Like, I just hope you have fun listening to these. And I just love sharing these stories with you. Like, I literally can like picture your faces and picture who I'm talking to when I'm talking to you. So like, I see you out there listening, or if you're watching on YouTube, I see you. I love hearing your stories. I love hearing from you. I love hugging you in person. And it's just so special. So yeah, EDC just continues to top itself. It's not perfect. There's plenty of moments. There's cons. There's low moments. But it's just a special place to me. And I just really feel like it upped its game this year. And there were so many cool, awesome changes. And I feel very lucky to do what I do. And I'm ready for next year. So let's run it back. I'm like actually sweating in this. I need to take the robe off now. It's been an hour. Okay, anyways. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you enjoyed the episode, you know the drill. Things that would really, really help me is subscribing, rating and reviewing, giving us a follow on any of our socials at Rave Culture Cast, Instagram, TikTok. We have a Facebook group. We have a Discord. Come along. Come join our community. I would love to have you guys. And if you enjoy this, just share it with a friend, like telling people about this, spreading this by word of mouth, you know, tweeting this out, putting it on your Instagram stories, tagging us. Like, that's all so helpful. So thank you guys for telling people about Rave Culture Cast. Yeah, and if you guys have any feedback, I really, really appreciate it. Oh my God, I forgot to do the Q&A. Oh shit. Well, you guys just heard that live. I'm going to do it separate, okay? Don't be mad at me. I'm going to do a separate EDC Las Vegas Q&A because this episode was long enough and I feel like we have a lot to address with the Q&A. So come back. We'll do a Q&A either on my YouTube channel or on here, and I'll address all your questions. So stay tuned. There will be a part 2. But thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you with my new episodes next week. Bye, guys.